Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumbre here again from JoBlo.com with another video movie review, this time the much anticipated Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. After a mission gone awry, the Guardians temporarily take refuge with Peter Quill, played by Chris Pratt's biological father Ego, Kurt Russell. Meanwhile, Yondu, played by Michael Rooker, now is persona non grata amongst the Ravager community and has to deal with a space mutiny that brings him face to face with his former enemies. Now, when a movie comes along like Guardians of the Galaxy, which nobody but the most devoted Marvel fans thought was going to be a breakout hit, appeals to such a wide range of viewers, giving the studio that great white whale of blockbusters the 4-quadrant hit, a sequel is pretty much a given. But how do you follow up a sleeper which was beloved by so many on the virtue of it being different and not as plugged in as the ongoing Marvel Cinematic Universe as others? If you're writer-director James Gunn, you double down on the thing that made the first film a hit, namely the humor, the colorful visuals, the cast, and the groovy 70s soundtrack. The formula, outside of briefly splitting up the team, isn't shaken up at all, and while one can't give this as much credit for departing from the norm as the first film, it's nonetheless almost as fantastically entertaining as the first. One thing Gunn doesn't do is tie this in too much to the other Marvel films, even if the Guardians are set to appear in Avengers Infinity War. Outside of some minor foreshadowing and references to Infinity Stones and Thanos, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is as much its own thing as the first. If that movie was the Star Wars of Marvel films, this one damn sure is trying to be The Empire Strikes Back, with occasional lapses into darker material and a pivotal father-son plot where Peter is finally reunited with his dad Ego, who Marvel fans will know is actually a living planet who's given himself a human form. The movie opens with another dazzling glimpse at how Marvel can de-age actors better than anyone else, with Kurt Russell looking like he walked off the set of 1980s Used Cars, in a prologue where he seduces Peter's mom. From there, it's right back into the action with the gang quickly reintroduced, taking for granted that viewers have almost certainly watched and rewatched the original multiple times since the first hit theaters almost 3 years ago. Everyone's pretty much the same as they left off, with Quill trying to cope with his romantic feelings towards Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana, who's too busy dealing with her psycho-adopted sister Nebula, played by Karen Gillan, to notice or care. Meanwhile, Drax, once again played by Dave Bautista, is still trying to grasp the concept of humor, and Rocket Raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper, is still too cute for baddies to take seriously. The only one who's really changed here is Groot, voiced by Vin Diesel, who everyone will know is in the process of being regenerated and is now a mischievous toddler that's cute as a button, with his opening dance to Mr. Blue Sky by ELO, eliciting sighs of delight from the assembled journalists at my local press screening. Without giving much away, much of the film relates to Peter's search for a father, with Russell perfectly cast as the brash Ego, very much in line with the more smart-ass heroes he played in the 80s, specifically Big Trouble in Little China's Jack Burton and Tango and Cash's Gabe Cash, with his on-screen partner from that film, Sylvester Stallone, also on board for a fun cameo that may pay off more further down the road. Surprisingly, the most heartfelt role of all goes to Michael Rooker's Yondu, with him having his own complicated history with Peter, which brings him into the fray in an unexpected way. Another new addition to the team is Palm Clementieff as the empath Mantis, bringing a pitch-perfect mixture of comedy and pathos to the role, making her a good fit with the other Guardians. It all adds up to a surprisingly weighty sequel that moves lightning fast despite the 136-minute running time, which includes not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 post-film scenes scattered amongst the credits. The lukewarm response by some early critics is puzzling, as this is undoubtedly one of Marvel's stronger efforts, although given that it's a sequel, the nifty touches that distinguish the first film won't come as much as a surprise this go-around. That said, everything still works, including the much-anticipated soundtrack, with Taylor Bates' score taking a backseat to the top 40 70s hits, with Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, and Fleetwood Mac's The Chain being especially prominent, although the best action scene of all is set to Glenn Campbell's Southern Nights. More than anything, it's just fun, something that Marvel has down to a science at this point. I give this one a strong 8 on 10. Until next time, this is Chris Bumbre for JoBlo.com.
You're still here. It's over. Go home. What are you expecting? Sam Jackson show up with an eye patch and a saucy little leather number? Go.